What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Action Network podcast presented by DraftKings. I'm your host, Chris Raybon. This is your NFL Week 16 betting preview. We're going to talk sides. We're going to talk totals, props, moneyline underdogs, and as always, build our Sunday six-pack of against the spread bets with the help of my co-host, the Prime Minister of Degenerate Nation, brand new father, my guy Stuckey. Stuck, congrats. How you feeling, man?
Good. Finally back from the hospital. Born 101 Eastern on an NFL Sunday. Uh, I was in the nursery after he was cut out streaming Red Zone, so that was funny. But it was an amazing moment, and yeah, I got to watch. He brought me some good luck with that Bills comeback.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it was a small winning weekend. Shout to the Eagles too. I was streaming that Eagles drive, that 17 play, 90-yard, 12-minute drive that ended scoreless for that to lock in that under. Um, that was amazing. So yeah, nothing changes. The last couple of days have been I've been out of routine. So hopefully keep it rolling this week. I'm really looking forward to this card and all of the playoff implications and the rest of the season. This is when it really starts to get good.
Oh yeah. You're up 50 to 38, so I gained 1 point on you. I can't ever really get too many gains here. I gotta get going, but I'm up first in the six pack. For anyone who's listening that hasn't listened before, welcome. And
So do
two
you want
points
to hit
for our
Thursday
first.
Night Football first?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, so Thursday night football. Before we get into the six pack, you're up 50 to 38. But really good game. Seahawks Rams. I saw that you are on the Seahawks. Curious as to your angle on this, because I know the Rams with that defense and that coordinator. They have given Darnold issues in the past. What are you seeing for Seahawks Rams?
Yeah, I mean, number one, again, I've been out of the loop a little bit, so I'm assuming Devontae Adams is going to be out, right? I mean, I can't see them playing. I
Seems
know
like
they said
it.
he's hopeful, but I can't see them playing Devontae Adams. I also still think that this Rams defense is overrated based on all of the backup quarterbacks and ease of offenses they faced. But the main thing is that I mean, this Seattle team. So without Devontae Adams, the Rams become obviously exponentially easier to defend. What are they going to lean into? They're going to lean more into heavier personnel. The one team in the NFL that's most equipped to defend heavier personnel is the Seahawks. They do not match with base or heavy, which the Lions did on every single heavy personnel formation last week and got absolutely torched. Torched.
They even said
Uh,
they would. Did you peep that? Like they
yes.
were interviewing Campbell, and he was like, "Yeah, well, we have linebackers that we play all the time, so we're just gonna play our linebackers." Like, good job, bro.
So, yeah, I mean, this is where even Warray comes into play. And in that first game, Stafford had his worst game by far of the season. He was 15 of 28 for 130 yards. The Seahawks in Los Angeles, and this is, in Los Angeles, Darnold threw four picks and they had a field goal to win the game. So I think at home, McDonald making some adjustments, and you get Darnold at home. I mean, Darnold's played this defense three times, all on the road, this form of defense. But I also thought he figured some things out in the second half against the Falcons because he was really strong. It's a similar type of scheme. And so, yeah, I think the lower scoring game with some potential weather, the loss of Devontae Adams, Seattle's ability to defend the Rams' heavy personnel, which is a cheat code most weeks, I think put this over the top of me. So I played a cheap money line on the Seahawks, the two best, you know, teams in the NFL, arguably the two best teams from an against the spread record as well. But yeah, I think that there's a if you can get a cheap money line on the Seahawks, I think it's worth a bet. But I see they flipped a favorite at some shops. I think like -1.5 Seattle is probably a fair price. So I just played a little cheap money line -102 earlier in the week. So yeah, huge game in the NFC. A really good one on Thursday night. Looking forward to it, but I like Seattle a bit.
Yeah, I think, I mean, the Adams injury would be big. I'm curious as to exactly how they attack it. I still do worry about Darnold against this defense. I mean, he's just not been playing well over the past month and a half, in my opinion. But uh, it's really hard to project because the Rams have gone, like heavy, super heavy 1-3 personnel in some of the last two games. But they also got Tutu Atwell back. So like they still have like receivers that they trust. Like they could spread them out and go like, kind of throw a different look at them. They didn't go as tight end heavy in that last matchup. So I'm just curious as to what they're going to do because they were replacing Adams essentially with Ferguson's routes. I had his over 6.5 receiving yards. This dude ran the most routes on the team, like more than Puka, finished with 6 yards. So like that, they just cannot afford to like play him as much as they did. So I'm curious to see what they do, but yeah, it's I think it is a coin flip game. I'm just always kind of weary of Darnold late season, especially against this defense. But
Braden Fisk also might
do.
not go. That's a important potential injury for the Rams up front.
Yeah. The Rams are not at full strength. I think that may tilt it, especially with Seattle being at home. But let's jump into the 6-pack. 2 points for our first two picks, point for our third, point for a total. You're up 50-38, gained a point on you last week. Got to get going here. I'll start it off with my first pick, the first overall of the Week 16 Sunday 6-pack, going with the New York Giants +3 at home against the Minnesota Vikings. This Giants team is not good, but also not as bad as
it's always a good way to start off the 6-pack.
I know, right?
That's not good.
Not good. The Giants are not good. However, the Vikings are not good either. Escaped with them, playing them last week in Dallas. Now they're on their second straight road game here, going to New York, going outdoors. McCarthy's still not good. I think I have the better quarterback in this matchup. And this is a luck game. The Giants have been one of the more unlucky teams. There's about a 20% luck gap here. So we got that working for us. But really, it just comes down to the Giants are better with Jackson Dart. They're still playing hard. And the Vikings really, I mean, they've been relying on their defense, but against the Giants, I don't like Jackson Dart's been good against the blitz. His completion percentage hasn't really dropped off. His touchdown percentage goes up. His efficiency goes up. Passer rating goes up about 10 points. And he's actually making throws against the blitz too. It's not just scrambles. So I think that's promising here. Obviously, Flores will probably throw some wrinkles at him, but I think that's promising that he's good against the blitz. And then, for the Vikings, McCarthy, I think he's still capable of just like imploding at any point. Dallas, one of the worst defenses in the league. Giants aren't great either, but on the road, outdoors, second straight road game. Giants coming off a loss. Everyone down on them after they were favored last week. Give me the New York Giants here. I just think this is more of the Vikings should be favored, but maybe by like a point or so. Like definitely inside of 3. So I'm taking I'm fine taking the 3, and I'm thinking. I mean, there's a chance it gets to 3.5. What do you think?
No.
You don't think so?
No. Yeah, I think this is a little bit too high. I'll probably be on this with you. But I will say McCarthy has looked better the past 2 weeks. But I think the sentiment in market maybe has gone a bit too far now I've been on them the past 2 weeks. So I think that the other things, I mean, the last 2 weeks, he has 5 big time throws, no turnover worthy plays. Now he played the Washington defense, the Dallas defense, which aren't great, but neither is the Giants. I think the biggest thing to note here is the Vikings injuries. Grenard and Metellus
Yeah.
are out.
Yep. And
And
O-line too.
those are, and then also you have, I didn't see an updated Vikings injury report today, but both their tackles.
Yeah, O'Neal and Darisaw. I thought I didn't think he was going to sit last game, so that's kind of concerning. He's been on and off the injury report all year long, and then O'Neal as well.
Darisaw didn't practice today.
Those are two
Um,
very good tackles too. So that would be big. Yeah, Garsol with the knee, and then O'Neal, yeah, with the ankle. Yeah. So I mean, even if they go, I mean, lower leg injuries, another road game outdoors, somewhat a little bit of a shortened week too, because they played on Sunday night. So yeah, it's gonna be tough for them.
yeah, I don't think we get a 3.5. I think 3 is the best. I wouldn't be surprised if this closes at 2.5 based on the Vikings injuries. But yeah, I think it's gone a little too far. Vikings indoor team going outdoors in December, home field worth a little bit more in a non-divisional game in that when that occurs. So yeah, I think with the 3, you got to look at New York or pass. But for my first pick and the second overall of the week 16 Sunday six pack, I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens -3 at home against the New England Patriots. You, I'm waiting on this. I don't think it goes above 3. You might see if I'm waiting to see if I can get like a, yeah, sadly I had a baby, so I couldn't get the opener. Um, I'm waiting to see if like a 2.5. I shouldn't say sadly I had a baby. But sadly I wasn't in a position.
Yo,
Uh,
oh man, that's an all timer. That's an all time
um,
great one.
so I just was
Man.
occupied when the 2.5 is
Woo!
out there. But even like a more expensive 2.5 is what I'm waiting for. But I will still play a very cheap 3. There's like 3 even money out there. But there's this is your classic Ravens smash spot at home in prime time against an 11-win team, season on the line in December. By the way, Lamar's 18-8 against the spread in December. He's never lost a game weeks 15 through 18. He's 16-0 straight up. Also, the Ravens offense, I think, is finally trending up. Since week 8 out of the bye, they're second in rush EPA. They were 22nd over the first 7 weeks. The offensive line has figured some things out. I think you're going to start to see more RPOs like we did last year. Charlie Kohler's been a revelation in the run blocking game. He's been elite in that aspect. But I mean, over the past 2 weeks, their rush offense is off the charts. And the Patriots defense, by the way, since week 8, 30th in rush success rate, 30th in rush EPA. Lost Milton Williams, have some other injuries. And that's another thing with the Patriots. They're now dealing with injuries. They're one of the healthiest teams in the league, over the first 12, 13 weeks. Milton Williams, Will Campbell, and you got Verdarian Lowe at left tackle. He's a traffic cone. Robert Spillane in a boot, not going to play. Leading tackler, he calls their defense. The rest of their linebackers, very vulnerable. They can't cover tight ends. They struggle against heavy formation. I think the Ravens can take advantage of this Patriots defense in multiple ways. Lamar, I thought, looked better last week. He's just every week he's getting incrementally better. I'm finally willing to bet them here. And this Patriots, and by the way, the Ravens defense since week 6, fifth in EPA per play, fifth in success rate, first against the run. And I will say, we talk about this all the time. The one area where the Ravens are still struggling is in the red zone. They're 44% red zone touchdown percentage. Well, that's second worst in the league. Well, the Pats defense is the worst. So this might be a week where they actually get right. And this Patriots team, look, there might be a bit of an emotional letdown after last week's game, blowing that against Buffalo. They know that all they have to do is beat the Jets and the Dolphins over the past 2 weeks. They win the division, probably get a 2 seed. But I'm not banking on that. Just human nature. Maybe they come out a little bit flat. I'm sure Vrabel will have them ready. But this the Patriots have had the easiest schedule in the league, and they've been lucky. I mean, they're 14 of 19 on fourth downs. Their opponents 8 of 23. I talked about this last week. 17 fumbles. They've only lost 7. They've recovered 67% of their opponents. Drake May has gotten away with some throws. He's been great, but if you look at his turnover-worthy plays compared to his interceptions, and just watch, he's gotten away with some throws. And have started to make some adjustments to what the Patriots are doing, especially the confident ones over the past few weeks. And yeah, this Patriots team's finally just not healthy. They got banged up a little bit in the secondary. I think there's a couple guys in the secondary that didn't practice today. And this defense can be had on the ground. I think the Ravens get it done at home. And if you look, I mean, in between the Patriots playing Josh Allen, the quarterbacks they faced were absolutely laughable. Laughable. And I mean, you're talking 7 of their 10 other wins came against either rookies or quarterbacks who have been benched. So I think the Ravens get it done at home. And the Ravens defense is trending up. We'll see if Awuzie will play. He's been really good, but they've added some pieces. that they've gotten back healthier. So you have Ardarius Washington now, who gives you a lot more flexibility. Gilman has been good. The Draymond Jones, Broderick Washington, Travis Jones combo last week was elite against Burrow. I think they averaged 2 yards per play with a 21% success rate on 20 snaps with those three in, and they hadn't played together all year. So they're starting to find some things with this defense that I think is will continue to trend up. Run game's working. I think the Patriots are trending down a bit. So yeah, I'll take the Ravens. I make this over a field goal, so I'm fine laying a cheap 3, but we'll wait to see if I can get a little bit more expensive 2.5.
Yeah, the Ravens are a little like hard to handicap for me just because they played the Bengals twice. It's like you mentioned the rush EPA. I mean, yeah, that's going to happen against the Bengals. I do think they're trending up. I do think Lamar looked a little better, but like this could be a shock to. I mean, that Patriots offense is still elite. I think. I mean, it's just with Henderson, they can kind of match the Ravens. So I'm curious to see how the Ravens.
I mean, the Bengals aren't.
They are, but I mean, Joe Burrow's YPA even heading into that game, like was like pretty low. He's like a lot more dink and dunking, especially without Higgins. Like Drake May, quite the opposite. So I just worry about the explosives. But I mean, I don't blame him for taking the Ravens. I mean, this Patriots team has been running lucky a little bit. They are now facing some of these elite teams in the AFC. They did just blow that game, kind of showed up, and their defense is just horrible. I like their defense is just. For a Vrabel defense, I mean, it's bad. So
yeah, especially considering the competition that they've played.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, the Ravens defense since the bye, they played the Bears. I mean, the Bears have a good offense. They shut down the Bears. The Dolphins, the Vikings, the Browns, the Jets, the Bengals twice, and the Steelers. So it's been a pretty
tough to
easy slate, in fairness. But I'm still rolling with my Ravens -3. I take it very serious when I get out the Ravens in the 6-pack.
Yeah, I don't think you've lost many of them. If you have, it's probably like those Browns games or something ridiculous like that.
I had the Browns earlier this year that they held on against the Ravens, but yeah, I think the Ravens get done. By the way, interesting nugget: Ravens win and they're favored. Lions win, who are favored over the Steelers. Week 17 meaningless for the Ravens and the Steelers. Steelers play at the Browns. Ravens play at the Packers. I imagine you probably sit Lamar. I imagine you probably sit Rodgers. Game means nothing, and the division will be decided week 18 no matter what.
Whew. Always comes down to Ravens Steelers, man. Somehow, some way. I mean, I wanted the Bengals. The Bengals always just blow it like way too soon. Like I want to see them still alive, and it's just no fun with them. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that Ravens Steelers game.
Good primetime games this week.
Oh yeah, I like the slate. I think this is a great slate in general.
Great slate, especially when you consider there's 44-year-old Rivers, and then you have 7 rookie quarterbacks that are going to start. Like if you include Brady Cook and now Quinn Ewers, like it's I really do like the slate. But go ahead, where are you going next?
For my second pick, the third overall of the week 16 Sunday 6-pack, I'm going with the Tennessee Titans plus 3.5 hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. And obviously no Patrick Mahomes, but I think there's some intangible advantages here for Tennessee as well. You're getting a Chiefs team that, I mean, you could just suffer a huge letdown. They don't really this is new territory for them. Not having meaningful games where it's not just, okay, we're resting up for the playoffs, where they're just eliminated. It's also, no Mahomes, Minshew, big step down. I mean, just massive drop off. And the Chiefs are just, it could be bad for them, especially because I don't know how many guys they're gonna push with the season over. So you have, Hollywood Brown still on the injury report, personal issues. So that's last week. I don't know if it was personal or something else, but that's interesting. And then Rashee Rice, concussion, usually a 9-day healing period. So more likely than not, guys with a concussion miss a week. Tyquan Thornton, same thing. So now you're looking at potentially 3 receivers out. Worthy got banged up in that last game. He's not even on the injury report. Then you got the offensive line issues with, Taylor. We'll see if he goes. Moore's on the injury report. Trey Smith got hurt his ankle last game. You already got Simmons on IR. The swing
Yeah, their
tackle
offensive line
Morris.
after the first
Like
drive
it's
last week was they had to go to Godric or whatever was a
yeah,
disaster.
yeah. And I mean, again, this is new territory for them. Who knows how many guys they push? With the season where it is. Their top cornerback McDuffie has a knee, so you'll see if he's back. But again, like these valuable guys, do they push them? Who knows? We haven't seen them in this predicament, so I think there's a little bit of injury upside here with the Chiefs because you're not only getting like the drop off from Mahomes to Minshew, but you're potentially getting cluster wide receiver injuries and cluster offensive line injuries. And then what's the one thing with the Chiefs don't really do well? Run the football. And if they have to do that because they
The
have a
Titans can
backup
still defend the
quarterback,
run.
exactly. You got Simmons on the interior. So this could get really messy for the Kansas City Chiefs. This is I think there's a chance the Titans show up for this one too, because I mean, they don't get a chance to get many wins on the year. So to knock off the defending conference champs, even if they're eliminated, I do think they get up for this one. So yeah, there's just too many injuries for the Chiefs. This is trending toward a coin flip game if all those guys miss. And again, I think it's more likely than usual that some of these guys get held out. They're on the road. Minshew, a lot more turnovers. So usually, Chiefs say, okay, they're not going to turn it over too much. And if they do, they can, get back to it with Mahomes. They can get those 2-minute drives with Minshew. It's just all up in the air, especially with these receivers. Kelsey, end of the year, he's older. It could get really ugly for the Chiefs. So I'm going Titans plus 3.5. Love getting the hook, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is like a smash for the Titans. You don't usually say that, but this Chiefs team just trending way down.
Yeah, the only thing, how do you quantify the Titans, um they have like no safeties left now, and they have some offensive line injuries. So this game is a mess, but yeah, the Chiefs, I'm sure they want to lose this game for draft positioning. How often can they say that? But what do I mean by that? Are they going to try? Yeah, but like, is there any reason for Reed to break out the the good plays, which haven't been working anyway? This offense is a mess now. You have all the offensive line is a disaster. The and you might as well hold everyone back. This game means nothing now. And there's just the human element of this team is always playing for Super Bowls the week after being eliminated. And this will be a big game for the Titans. They don't get many big games. You're playing the big bad Chiefs at home, so yeah.
Holidays too. Everyone's a little distracted going on. Like it could get weird. It could get real weird. All right, before we continue with the Sunday Six Pack, just a reminder, you could tell the bets we discussed in today's show by finding the quick flip link in the podcast and video description. You can also go to actionnetwork.com/bet now to find those quick slips, or even better, sign up for Action Pro. Action Pro users get real-time alerts as soon as experts like Stuckey, Brandon Anderson, Kerner, myself track picks in the app. You also get real-time money percentages to see where the smart money is flowing, and access to our NFL player prop projections powered by Sean Kerner and the predictive analytics team. Just go to actionnetwork.com/pro to get started and use promo code POD20 for $20 off an annual subscription. That's POD20 for 20 off an annual subscription. The rest of our Sunday Six Pack is coming up, but first I'll throw it to myself for a quick word from our sponsor. The Action Network podcast has teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook, where new customers can bet $5 and get $200 back in bonus bets if your bet wins. If you love the thrill of live betting, DraftKings has got you covered. Bet live on star player props and in-progress games right as they happen. To get started, use promo code Action Network when signing up with DraftKings. Again, use code Action Network when signing up and bet $5 to get $200 back in bonus bets if your bet wins. The crown is yours. All right, Stuck, where are you going second?
All right, for my second pick and the fourth overall, the Week 16 Sunday Six Pack, I'm going with the Las Vegas Raiders plus 14.5. It's disgusting, but this fits like this alarms are going off for me to play this. Played this already. It's 14.5 at DraftKings still. Look, I think this is the peak of the market on the Texans. They've been great. Their offense has been better. We know how good their defense is. They've won 6 straight, but they benefited from a ton of injuries over that span. I mean, you had Daniel Jones going down. You had the Bills' offensive line. All their tackles were out. The Chiefs' offensive line was a mess. The Cardinals' whole team was out. And 4 of their 6 wins still were by 1 possession. Only 1 of the 6 have come against the playoff team. But I think we're peaked out on the Texans. Everyone's now saying the Texans are going to win the AFC. All the signs that, like, okay, we're at the peak of the market on the Texans. This is still a team that I don't want to run to lay 14.5 with, regardless of who they're playing. They still struggle to finish drives. They're 30th in red zone touchdown percentage on the year. And
Jahar, Jahar. Like I had Jahar Jordan
I saw
30
that,
to
and he got a
1,
ton of
and
carries,
he
didn't he, get
got he
in?
got to the three. He got to the three, and then some stupid something. I don't know how he didn't score. He got over 100 yards, but yeah, it's frustrating with their red zone shit.
So, but I think this is the peak of the market, and we're getting to buy low in the Raiders after a shutout loss where they had less than 100 yards. By the way, the Raiders, they've been blown out a bunch this year. Here's what they've done after they losing by 17 or more. They lost by 1 to the Bears. They beat the Texans. I mean, they beat the Titans by 10. They lost by 1 to the Jags. They lost to the Broncos and covered by 7. Shout out Pete Carroll. And then they lost to the Browns by 14. So they're 4-1 against the spread after blowout losses this year. But mainly, I just think because they got shut out last week, because the Texans are at the peak of their market value, we're getting over 2 touchdowns here. I think that this line should be like 13 and a half. So I'm going to take over 2 touchdowns. I think look, these are professional athletes. The Raiders will come out with an inspired effort here after they got embarrassed last week. And by the way, this is also a couple of my favorite trends here. And this just speaks to buying low. Teams off a shutout, teams off getting shut out. 74, 55, and 5 against the spread, 57.4%. On the road, 32, 18, and 2 against the spread, 64% covering by over a field goal per game. And road dogs off a shutout loss, 65% historically, covering by about 4 points per game. Additionally, one of my favorite trends ever, double-digit dog in back-to-back weeks after they didn't cover in the first week. Why is that one of my favorite trends? Because it has to be a really bad team, right? If they didn't cover the first time, who wants to bet them the second time, right? Because they're going to be playing another good team. So you usually get maybe a point, sometimes against the key. And I think that's what we're getting here. By the way, 50, 25, and 1 against the spread past 25 years in that spot. 67% covering by about 4 points per game. So I'm buying low. Also, I think Colton Miller will be back this week. That's massive. One of the best left tackles in the NFL. Their offensive line it can't function. But getting like a stud left tackle back will help. It's kind of like when the Giants would have Andrew Thomas and without, you would just see the whole operation would get a little better. So maybe they can sustain a few more drives. And the Texans have injuries like Stingley. Probably be smart to hold him out this week. This is the second time he's dealing with I think it's an oblique. Marks in their backfield. And then they've started to lose some interior defensive lineman guys. Edwards now they lost. And so their depth has taken some hits there. So maybe that starts that up. But I just think this is the bottom of the Raiders. They just didn't score. And they had 75 total yards. Texans have won 6 straight. I think we're getting over 2 touchdowns in a game that I think should be under. Give me the Raiders, who have treated me well this year, outside of the Browns game. So, Pete Carroll, if you're down 17 late, field goal, baby. Kick it.
Pete Carroll, I mean, whoa, what a terrible coach. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably be honest with you. It's gonna feel disgusting, which means it's the right side. I mean, the Raiders, I don't even know what to say anymore. I can't believe that they came out of the bye with like their rookie receivers playing less. I can't believe they got 3 first downs in a game. Like they've just so many I haven't been like in awe of such a terrible team in so long, which means they'll probably cover this week.
You're in all with the Jets, by the way.
Oh my God. No,
Raybon did
I
pick
got
the
off
Jets
them.
originally in the draft.
Yeah. And
And
then I realized they were tanking. I was like, I
I
didn't
gave him
realize
shit.
they were.
She traded out. So where are you going next?
No, I didn't know. I did not realize they were like benching healthy quarterbacks for Cook. I thought they were just hurt. But that now it sounds like they're tanking. But yeah, for my third pick and the fifth overall of the Week 16 Sunday six pack, I'm going with the Washington Commanders plus 6.5 at home against the Philadelphia Eagles. And we just talked about the Raiders and how bad the Raiders are. So how much are we going to credit the Eagles for that win? And I think the market is a little too confident now. Division game, Eagles on the road, a little bit of a short week. Injury report, a little bit concerning. I mean, you still got Lane Johnson not
Is
practicing.
Tunsil going to play? That's what
That's
I'm
a good
worried
question.
about.
I
But I
mean,
don't
they
think
have
Lane
like,
Johnson's playing, and I don't think Carter's playing.
yeah, so two of the most important players in the trenches. And then Landon Dickerson also looks like he is on the injury report. Fred Johnson as well. So like their tackle situation for the Eagles and their O-line situation, not great. Also, one of their blocking tight ends has a neck. Barkley popped, he practiced limited, but a neck on a short week. And then Bigsby has an illness. So I don't know what, like that running back room, we'll see about that. But a little bit concerning there for the Eagles injuries. And then if you go back and look at all the games, because yeah, I don't think Lane Johnson's going again. He missed the first two practices of the week. Uh, the Eagles without Lane Johnson are now 5-8 straight up, 4-8-1 against the spread. And this team, Jalen Hurts, it's still not great for him. Like he's still going to struggle against zone coverages. He's not going to be able to just do this every week. They pulled some nice tricks out of their bag a couple weeks in a row, I thought, in the run game. And then, last week at the goal line with Goddard, who should have had 3 touchdowns. You could do that against the Raiders. This is a divisional opponent. Dan Quinn has seen this team a bunch, even going back to his days with the Cowboys. So I just think that Hurts is in for a little bit of a letdown here, especially with the offensive line banged up, because that's really the key for Hurts. Like he's still going to take time to go through his progressions. His Washington defense is not good, but he's still going to take time to get through his progressions. And with a banged up offensive line, I'm going to take the 6.5 all day. I mean, this is a division game. The Commanders could easily win this game. The Eagles are not all of a sudden fixed because they blew out the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders are absolutely hapless. The Commanders, I mean, people are writing them off for dead against the Giants. They were the 2-10 or whatever, 2-11 Giants. The Commanders were underdogs against,
And they're better with Mariota this
yeah,
year.
and they're better with Mariota, more efficient EPA, YPA, success rate, you name it. They're better. Eagles without Carter, big loss on the trenches. So yeah, even if Tunsil doesn't go, which he is questionable, the Commanders are somewhat deep on the offensive line. I mean, obviously it's going to be a downgrade, but
Coleman
Mariota
was
can move
okay.
around. Yeah, they'll use 6 offensive linemen, so they have some depth there. And more importantly, you also got Terry McLaurin back. He looked good last week, and so him and Debo, I think that kind of makes up for Ertz, because you're somewhat deep at tight end. You have Bates, great blocker, and then you have Sinnott, who you've been trying to get a look at for a while anyway. So I don't think the tight end hurts you as much against like a man-heavy defense like the Eagles. You want to have McLaurin back. That's the key. So yeah, I think Washington can keep it close here. Elliott's been missing some field goals outdoors as well. He's been struggling somewhat. So I know they got the long snapper back, so maybe that fixes it. But I'll take my chances with the Washington Commanders plus 6.5. Also, another luck side. This is both. We got both of the luck sides in the 6-pack this week. The Eagles and the the Eagles and the Giants are both luck sides. Those have been crushing this year, over 60% against the spread. So Washington plus 6.5. Where you go next?
Yeah, I'll be on this. This was going to be one of mine. I mean, Eagles now, they know they're going to win the division. Maybe the sense of urgency is in there. There's no sense of urgency to rush guys back that are dealing with an injury. They basically just need to win one game, or Dallas loses one game and they'll win the division. It's also their third game in 12 days late in the season. Like they had like back-to-back short weeks, LA to Philly to Washington. And they still can't run the ball. I mean, last week they were under 4 yards per carry against the Raiders. And I don't think the Eagles, I need to see more with this Eagles offense run like it's fixed, because they exploded
Yeah.
against the Raiders. We saw them explode against the Giants at home, and then it was broken again for 2 months.
Yep.
So, and there's not this Eagles offense isn't built on speed, and that's how you really attack Washington, who's going to play a lot of zone, and Hurts has struggled immensely against zone all year. So, yeah, and the market keeps saying that Daniels is better than Mariota, which he is in like a vacuum, but not this year. The offense is much better with Mariota. So yeah,
Yeah.
divisional dog here. I'm gonna wait to see if a seven pops. Doesn't matter for the contest. Not sure we'll get there, but that's what I'm waiting on. All right, for my third pick in the final overall, the Week 16 Sunday six pack, I'm going with the Jacksonville Jaguars +3 at the Denver Broncos. I'm gonna wait. I'm sad. I'm this. Sometimes this is the timing of the show. We might get a 3.5, even if it's an expensive one. That's what I'm waiting on. But this is the other side I like. I actually was gonna take the Browns +10, which I'm gonna play, sadly. But you took them, then traded them in. So I do have the Jags. I will be on the Jags, but I'm hoping to get a 3.5. This Jags, I mean, the Broncos, they're number one in our luck rankings for a reason. Last week, they're going to lose. The Packers start. By the way, Bo Nix last week, we talked about how he struggles against zone. He had 4 touchdowns, zone interceptions, 4 turnover-worthy plays. I mean, how many interceptions did McKinney drop? He should have had about 3 or 4 picks in that game. The Packers lose their stud right tackle. They lose Watson. They lose Micah Parsons, who was held like 50 times. They didn't call any of them. They lose Evan Williams. They lost like 6 starters during the game, and the Broncos win another one in the fourth quarter. But obviously, the complexion of the Packers team changes drastically without Parsons. So another lucky win for Denver. Still not buying this team. They've won 11 straight. Guess what? Teams on 11 plus game winning streaks, they're probably at the top of their market value. 14, 36, and 2 against the spread since 1990, 28%. This Jags team, market doesn't want to fully buy into them. Maybe they finally have him, and I think this should be under a field goal. But Jags defense since week 8, fourth in EPA per play. They've been a top 5 run D on the season. That's important against Denver. They're going to play a lot of zone on the back end, which I don't like Knicks against. And since acquiring, the difference with the Jags now is the Liam Cohen effect over the course of the season, but Jacoby Myers has been unbelievable. Since they've acquired him, the Jags offense, third in dropback success rate, sixth in dropback EPA. Getting Strange back also helped in that department. So I think this Jags team is for real. And I think this game's going to go right down to the wire. I mean, watch. The Broncos will probably win by 1 or 2 on some late shenanigans. But Jags are still in play for the 1 seed. I'm really looking forward to this game. I think this should be under a field goal. I'm going to take them +3 in the contest, but wait. I think we might get a 3.5. Even if you got a 3.5 -115, -120. If not, I'll still be on the Jags at +3. But this team is trending up. The Broncos' luck. It's going to run out eventually. Give me the Jags. Duval.
Yeah, man. The only thing that gives me pause is they have been a little shaky on the road. And they're 2 straight at home, Jets and Colts. So obviously and then they had the Titans on the road, which I not too challenging. So I'm curious to see how they respond here because I agree. I think they're looking like a complete team. Even I think the Liam Cohen effect in the run game. ETN's been better. He had a tough season last year, but he's been better all around. They're getting even Tootin. He's kind of been up and down, but they're getting a lot out of him. He's doubtful for this one, but Jaguars just firing on all cylinders. Really curious to see how this offense responds on the road in Denver against a quality defense. Can Trevor Lawrence keep doing what he's doing? Because he has had some cake matchups. I mean, he had the Cardinals, the Titans, the Colts, the Jets all in a row. And then, the Texans and Chargers before that. You hammered the Chargers. You gave up the lead to the Texans, but you did score points. So, I mean, the Jaguars have been putting up a steady dose of, mid to high 20s plus since the bye. So I'm curious to see if they can go into Denver and do it. Because I do think Denver will be able, Bubbles has calmed down a little bit against the zone. Like, I think that Raiders game was good for him when he averaged like 5 yards per attempt. But he'll still make some turnover worthy throws. He still doesn't read it fully, but he is better than Hurts now. I'll give him that. But I don't mind the Jags at all here. So we got let's see, we got for the 6-pack, Jackson Dart, Lamar. All right, starting off a little too good. Cam Ward. Who is it? Kenny Pickett? Is it Pickett or Geno this week?
Geno's back.
Okay. Geno Smith. Okay, there we go. Geno, Mariota, and Trevor Lawrence. So, I mean, it's like a lot of talent, high draft picks, but it might be a little too good of a 6-pack for us. I don't know. I mean, Geno kind of drags it down. So we're kind
I had a really good one the other week, and it turned out okay. So maybe we're turning.
Yeah. No, we've had some ugly ones, and we've been pretty hot. last couple of weeks. All right, that's going to do it for our Week 16 Sunday six pack. Again, if you would like to tail some of the picks, just look for the quick flip links in the podcast and video description. Make sure you sign up for Action Pro for instant notifications when all of our bets are tracked.